You care for a family member, you can feel like you have too many questions and not enough answers. And that leaves you feeling uncertain. And that's a terrible place to stay. And that's why we're taking a break from it. Hey everyone, I'm Denise Brown. My website is caringourway.com. You can also download our app from the App Store and Google Play. And our app is called Caring Our Way. So nice and easy. On the third Thursday of every month, we take a soul break. We often think about the heartache that happens during caregiving, but I'll tell you, there are just as many situations that crush our soul. And each month, we look at a different soul-crushing emotion or situation or experience. And so this month, we're looking at uncertainty and taking a break from it, because who wants to stay uncertain? So each month, I show you some images, which I hope spark some answers to the questions that I pose. So let's start. Oh, uncertainty. It's terrible to have all these questions and just not have any answers, because you feel like you're in a place, actually, you feel like you're in the middle of a tornado, because you just don't have what you need, but everything is swirling around you. Crisis, oh, crisis after crisis after crisis. So today, let's calm the tornado a little bit and be okay with not having all the answers. And in order for us to be okay with not having all the answers, I think it's helpful for us to just be honest about what our questions are. So here is my question to you. What's the question that wakes you up at night and then leaves you tossing and turning in your bed? You might have one question, you might have many questions. Go ahead and take a moment to write them all down. The reason we're actually giving air to these questions is because sometimes we fight with them. We might decide the questions are just stupid to ask, so we judge them, or we minimize them. Oh, I shouldn't be worried about that. Or we feel terrible. We decide we're a terrible person because we're asking these questions. And in truth, these questions are merely facts. We don't have to attach an emotion or a judgment to them. We can just be aware that we have these questions. And then once we have awareness that we have these questions, we can let them be. We can release them. So when you write them out, it's a way to release their hold on you. It's a way to let them live with you without interrupting your life. We can be with these questions. And it's okay that we don't have the answers right now. I love this image because we can see the sun setting, the moon rising, and the stars twinkling. And we want to be okay at night, which is why we're going to release the questions that wake us up at night. The next question I'm going to ask is inspired by the stars in the sky on this image. And here's my next question to you. When you look up, what do you hear? And I like this question because sometimes fretting about not having the answers to our questions means we silence our wisdom. So the worry that we don't have answers gets too loud and our wisdom gets too soft. And I love the idea of reminding ourselves to look up. The weight of caregiving settles on our shoulders and makes us look down from all that we're carrying. Let's look up. And then let's realize when we look up, we can hear better. So, for instance, on a summer day, spring day, when you look up, you might hear the birds. How fabulous is that? You might hear the wind blowing. You might hear the sound of kids having fun. I think we can hear so much when we look up. And I also like to remember to look up because nature is up and often giving me art. And this image is art. And I don't want to miss that. So when you look up, what do you hear? And really, what you're looking to hear is your inner wisdom. Here's our next question. When you look forward, what do you see? Now, I love this picture because who wouldn't want to look forward to this? The ocean, relaxation, no work, a break from responsibilities. It looks fabulous. I think part of our uncertainty is related to the future and how the future will look. And it could look like it will be difficult. And just for a moment, let's look into a future that we want. So when you look forward, what do you see for yourself? And it's okay to just think about this for yourself only. You may see for yourself a different career, a different kind of relationship with friends, or a romantic one. You might see yourself living in a different part of the country. You may see yourself simply sitting out in your backyard looking up. You may see yourself surrounded by a circle of loving people in your life. You may see yourself on a big stage delivering a keynote, or in a bookstore signing your book that you just wrote, or releasing your first album. That sounds old school the way I said that, but you know what I mean. So when you look forward, what do you see? And it's okay that it's just about what you see for yourself. Okay, here's the next question. When you touch your heart, what do you know? Touching your heart might lead you to remember that you are loved and that you love. It also can remind you that you can choose love. You can be at peace by receiving love. That love is ever present and every day. When you touch your heart, what do you know? And I love this image because it invites us to actually reach out and almost pull a heart, like we can pull a string and take a heart with us. And that feels pretty nice. I love the colors. I love how artistic it looks. And I love that there's elements of nature, like the flowers in the hearts. When you touch your heart, what do you know? Okay. In each soul break, we take a moment to connect to what we believe about our theme. And for these belief statements, let's think about what we can believe about certainty. And a belief statement that reflects certainty can sound like, I believe I am okay when I ask for and receive help. I believe I am guided by a higher power, and that higher power is the most certain part of my day. I believe in love, which is the most certain part of my day. I believe I can give myself a few moments, which allow me to be certain as to what the next step, the right words, and a good choice could be. What do you believe? And how does that relate to certainty? We have a tool that helps us also create more belief statements. So, for instance, you can create a belief statement about work. And it could be something like, because this is actually something that I like to do. Work is very important to me. So, for me, my belief statement is I believe when I'm productive, I am certain I will make a difference. And then I can relate that to values. So I value hard work because I am certain my hard work will pay off. I am certain I can impact my good health when I make good decisions every day. I am certain I can tap into my courage when I give myself a good night's sleep. I am certain my dreams will come true. You could write a belief statement around certainty related to each of these words, or you could just pick one word and write a belief statement that relates to certainty. For instance, play could sound like, I believe having a playful attitude means I can be certain I'm enjoying my day to the best of my ability. We close with one last image and one last question for you. And I'm actually going to pull our 3 questions I asked earlier into one question I'm going to leave with you. And that is, when you need an answer, how will you tap into your wisdom, your future, and your heart? I'll repeat it for you. When you need an answer, how will you tap into your wisdom, your future, and your heart? I want to share another perspective about tapping into your future. And it could be that you take yourself out of the stress of this moment and take yourself 5 years down into the future. And in 5 years, what will your wisdom tell you to do about this moment? And it could be that your wisdom says, let it go. Your wisdom might say, hold it tight. Your wisdom might say, learn from this and bring it with you so we can put it into good use in 5 years. I attended a workshop probably about 20 years ago, and it was with a life coach who shared this really interesting technique. And what he would do in his life was imagine what he wanted. In his mind's eye, he was creating his future. And then when he had a difficult day or started worrying that nothing was going to go his way, or fretting that an opportunity was lost to him, he would remember his future. And he would just completely relax into a visualization of the future he wanted. And that helped manage his stress and manage the moment. So we can do that when we feel uncertain. We can tap into our wisdom, our future, our heart. When I created the question, I had the word tap in it. And then I went to search for an image to use with the question, and I use a website called Pixabay.com. And I'm not sure what search term I used, but this was the image that came up. And I thought, oh my gosh, tap, tap. So we can tap into what we have. And perhaps it doesn't give us a complete answer or pull all the pieces of the puzzle together. It can, however, give us comfort in the moment that we have wisdom, we have a future, we have love in our heart. It's okay that we don't know everything because our wisdom still knows enough. Our future still belongs to us, and our heart is always capable of giving and receiving love. And I am certain of all of those 3 for you. Okay. So I'd love for you to share any answers that you'd like in our comments section. And if you ever have an idea for what you'd like a break from that crushes your soul, let me know. You can post it in the comments. You can send me an email, denise@caringourway.com, because I would love to create something that works for you. And if you haven't joined us yet on caringourway.com, come on over. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to support you. Thank you so much for being with me during this month's soul break. I'm grateful for all you do, and I look forward to connecting again. Take care.